All right, so let's just get it started. Thanks for coming. I'm Shoji. Unfortunately, not in a position on the slide, but yeah, I'm the BD lead at Napier Finance, and we'll get started from quick introduction of each other. Then Tgen, please.
Sure. GM, I'm Tgen from Lavarage. We are basically a spot margin liquidity layer, but I guess we're probably more well known for our platform, which allows people to trade meme coins on Solana at up to 4x leverage. So we support over 500 meme coins, and we're adding like new ones like every day. So if you're meme coin traders, check it out. We have also just launched our points program. I'll pass it over.
Hey, I'm Mark from SynFutures. For those of you who aren't familiar, SynFutures is a decentralized derivatives exchange. We're deployed on Blast, Base, and we're expanding to some new chains as well. One of the things that makes us unique is we offer permissionless listings for perps, which means anyone can come and list and trade any ERC20 token with leverage, long or short. We're doing about 500 million to $1 billion in volume a day, and I'm happy to be here to share the SynFutures story and my thoughts on just DeFi and DAOs.
Hi everyone, my name is Blagoj, and I'm a co-founder of TokenSight. And TokenSight is a self-custodial DEX trading platform. What we do is provide like easy and efficient DEX trading over 12 chains at the moment. We're expanding fast, and we provide this through a DEX trading QI, which is a trading terminal, and we also have a Telegram trading bot. And we're mainly focused on enabling trading on new chains, but also supporting the major, most popular chains.
All right, then let's just start discussing about like the key difference between like DeFi and CeFi. As we've seen, like we've got trading platforms on DeFi's, but historically it's known that DeFi has a lot of challenges. So, what's your take on like pros and cons of trading on like CeFi's and DeFi's? And also, what will be sort of key challenge that DeFi have right now? So shall we get started with Blagoj then?
Yeah, sure. So I think there are many differences and many similarities between DeFi and CeFi trading. Mainly, the landscape is a bit different when it comes to spot and features. DeFi, it's much like spot trading is much more broad, where features are, in my view, are a bit lagging behind, and DeFi and CeFi volumes are a bit different in this area. And there are kind of differences is that on Texas everything is centralized, everything is in one place, and it has its own features. It's the UX is like the trading UX is great. It's very efficient. It has a deeper liquidity, while the main cons are that it's like not your keys, not your coins. Like they have control over your coins, and pretty much there are a lot of things that can go wrong with this. Like checks is getting hacked. They censor your account. They're not available everywhere in the world, so it's not very permissionless. And on the other hand, on DEXs, it's in my view it's a bit the opposite. The UX is not that great. It's getting better, but there is still gap, and that's mainly because there are different kind of platforms. But if we take, for example, Uniswap and DEXs, the UX is a bit hard. You need a wallet, you need more technical knowledge on how to operate. Then you have blockchain nuances, gas costs, and things like that. But you have your your coins, your basically you own them, and if you don't use them yourself, other people can't take them easily. So that pretty much.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think most people look at DEXs for two main reasons. One is the most powerful part is the non-custodial part, right? Like you mentioned, not your coin, not your, what was it again? Not your keys, not your coins. That's extremely important because the user has full ownership of what they're doing, and it's fully on-chain, which means you trust the code, not the people. There's still a lot of room for improvement in DeFi, though. I think the biggest is a lot of people still go to CeFi because, quite frankly, the user experience is still a little better. And there's many reasons for that, right? I mean, being fully on-chain, there are some limitations in terms of like the efficiency. And then there's limited liquidity still. I think we're starting to see more institutional liquidity enter the DeFi space. But still, if you're like a major trader, I think it's still challenging to trade on most DeFi platforms. We're starting to see that change, especially with improvements in infrastructure. So as we see like these new L1s and L2s come up that are really creating much more efficiencies for the dApps that are built on it, I think the gap between CeFi and DeFi is going to close. The other thing that I think DeFi really enables is just the permissionless nature of everything, right? You no longer have to rely on a centralized team to, let's say, list tokens. You know, Uniswap offers permissionless trading for and listing and trading on the spot side, and we're trying to enable that on the perp side. So this just means ultimately we let the markets decide what gets listed and what gets traded. I think this level of kind of democracy in the space is one of the true advantages of DeFi.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I actually come from TradFi. So there's TradFi, and then CeFi, and then DeFi. I think ultimately the reason why we trade is because we want to make money. And then the second reason is we don't want to lose money. So there's only two reasons. So to me, I think it doesn't really matter like what Fi we trade on. But the problem with CeFi, which I've personally experienced, I still have some fund that is supposed to be recovered from some exchanges. I'm not going to name them. But the memory I vividly remember is when there were news about certain exchange going down, there's not much you can do. You can ping your friend at the exchange. You can ask around, hey, is this safe? And some of them will be like, hey, get your money out ASAP. And then others will tell you, it's perfectly safe. I just came from the office. I'm like, there's no way for you to even verify anything. With DeFi, I mean, most of us probably cannot verify anything because we are not like smart contract gurus here. But we can probably ask our cousin, hey, can you check the code? Is the money still there? Or like, we don't really have to fully trust some guy who's running an exchange, like a curly hair guy or anyone like that, to see whether our money is still there or not, right? So I think that's like the simple thing. Those are the key difference, like the non-custodial part of DeFi, which I think is really important. The whole reason why we're in the blockchain, like trading crypto, besides making money, is we also care about things that are decentralized, permissionless, as what Mark said. What we can trade, what we cannot trade, should not be decided by like some guy who is earning fees because they want to allow you to only trade certain things. So the censorship and also the non-custodial, I think is really important. So I think as soon as DeFi, I think we're all here working on building better UX to make it better trading experience on DeFi. As soon as that can catch up, I don't really see any reason why CeFi should still be used.
Thank you.
Personal opinion.
All right. I think we all touched like sort of like UX challenges that DeFi trading platform have right now. But what do you think is like really needed to fill the gap or even like DeFi trading go farther than like CeFi's? What do you expect? Like Mark already touched sort of some infrastructure advancements, but what are the pieces that are missing right now? Then maybe Mark, can you start?
Yeah, just adding on to the need to increase efficiency across chains, just so that we can compete with CeFi at a comparable level. Liquidity is the other big one, right? Right now, the liquidity is fragmented across chains, across protocols. And so it's really interesting to see like what kind of innovations will come out. Like we're already seeing liquidity aggregation through things like L3s. So I think the big thing is trying to unify the liquidity so that our markets can have just as much depth, if not more, than CeFi, with all of the advantages of DeFi, right? So I would say efficiency and the liquidity is the two things that are kind of holding back DeFi right now, but the industry is definitely getting closer to solving it. The way we approach it is, there was like when DeFi first came out, people were all in on AMMs, and now it's like on-chain order books, and we see that there's a balance to have both, right? So for us, we took this approach and we said, okay, how do we marry an on-chain order book with a concentrated liquidity AMM for the purpose of boosting liquidity and efficiency? The AMM, for example, gives us a lot more flexibility in the tokens we list, so we can support a lot of long-tail assets that historically have very thin liquidity, while the order book side gives a very CeFi-like experience for some of the major pairs that are traded on the platform.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think efficiency there is a big gap there, but also I think accessibility and abstracting away blockchain nuances is also very important. It's still the practice where, for example, new users come in, they need MetaMask account, they go to create an EOA. And with that experience, not great trading UX can be achieved. And how we are looking to solve this is through more secure, more powerful accounts where people it's still in a way like there are pros and cons, of course, but people deposit the money into a vault, which is a secure wallet where they fully control their coins, but it can be automated, so people don't need to care about approvals and other blockchain nuances, and also I think account abstraction in different way of form can help with this to create more powerful use cases. And I think mainly that, and the gap, as Mark said, is getting closer. People tend to appreciate DEXs and permissionless stuff more lately. I think this is more because of the easier token launches, like meme coins and things like that are easily launched on chain, and the speculation is there first and then goes to different sexes.
Yeah, I guess I actually personally only use DeFi mostly, and I do think that the simplicity of like a swap is actually not too bad, like one click and you swap stuff. But I guess there's a lot of these peripheral tools that could be improved. For example, we built something like a position viewer, and a lot of people gave us feedback to see, oh, I can see my P&L of the swap now, which they can't easily. I guess there are tools out there that can allow them to do this, say for Uniswap, but on our platform, things like that, people do appreciate. They can see how much they're earning or losing. So there's still things, other things that we have encountered on DeFi. We're building on Solana. There was one period of time where no one can do any trade. The network was too congested. can't really think of a scenario like that for more like CeFi, like centralized platforms. And also weird things that people would do, like they would click 5 times and they end up doing 4 trades because they just wanted to get a trade through on the Solana network. So I think they're definitely both like low-level infrastructure things that we need to fix, as well as the liquidity, the UX that we need to work on together. But I really think that these things are coming all together. Yeah, we're making very good progress.
Yeah, thanks. So absolutely, liquidity matters, right? And if you're talking about liquidity, some people mentioned the onboarding of like institutional traders needs to happen, right? So what is your take on sort of onboarding institutional traders, if you're willing to do it, and if you are, what is your strategy? Probably Mike again, can you start?
Yeah, when I mentioned onboarding institutions, it's really at this stage in adoption, we're probably still speaking mostly to on-chain native, crypto native institutions. And the reason is I've spent some time talking to like some of the major investment banks, and the general, so for compliance reasons, they simply can't trade on DeFi unless they know who their counterparty is, right? I know some DeFi protocols are experimenting with enabling some KYC, and then I've had some recommendations from people asking if we could launch like KYC pools, like permission pools, right? Where everyone within a given pool is, their identity is verified. And that would open the door for institutions. The challenge is it brings us back to the same issue, which is liquidity fragmentation, right? We already have fragmented liquidity in our general pool, so to subdivide that into like these KYC-friendly pools, it takes away too much of the user experience. And then the second to that is, I think, think about why we trade in DeFi, right? The non-KYC is probably a big part that's coupled with non-custodial. And so I think there's a big like mental barrier to going to DeFi users today and saying, I need you to KYC. Because then they're going to start saying, wait, if I need to KYC, why don't I just use a Binance or whatever centralized exchange? I think there are many other reasons to use DeFi other than that. But I think that's the first thought that most people are going to come up with. So I think for us, we've had the most luck working with these crypto native institutional funds, whether it's market makers or high frequency trading firms, or, because one of the unique things about DeFi that maybe people don't think about are the unique on-chain arbitrage opportunities that exist across protocols and across chains. And so that naturally brings in the institutions. Market makers are here because they're trying to make a buck, but yeah, I'd say we're still a little far off from like TradFi institutional participation.
Got it.
Yeah, so I think in my view what these people care about is mainly security and deep liquidity. In our case, what we've encountered with is prop trading firms, on-chain prop trading firms, and we only provide spot trading. And what they requested was sub accounts, like that's mainly part of their like management strategy and how they do work, but mainly they cared about security a lot. And the thing is that they also want to participate in like meme coin season and other on-chain stuff. But for, I think, bigger institutions, the picture is a bit different.
Yeah, I think you're asking the wrong guy, because I mainly focus on like meme coins. So I can't really think of any like institutional traders that focus on like trading meme coins, but they're probably not that institutional. But I do think that we need to figure out ways to allow more of these institutional traders to come into, because they're the ones that can drive the liquidity. And so I'll be very keen to see how, for example, Mark, like you guys can figure out some ways to allow this KYC matching with non-KYC liquidity, like how to really get like some creative solution around that. Yeah.
Got it. We also love to touch a bit about like meme coin trading. Obviously it's pumping, but what are you seeing in like meme coin trading? So we discussed a little bit about like is it positive samples or not, like that kind of thing. What's your take on like meme coin trading right now, Tgen?
I personally don't have a comment. I guess a personal view on whether meme coin is good or not. In fact, I think a lot of coins are meme coins too. They just have a company, they have some people behind it. It doesn't mean they're not meme, right? Because they don't have any audited financials. Like they're not, yeah, it's just like, again, it goes back to what can we make money with? Like, can we trade this and make money? And I think one of the biggest use case of crypto is this decentralized, I don't want to use the C word, like it's a speculative trading venue where we can trade 24/7 that will allow us to be able to make money anytime, anywhere. I think that is it's still going to be one of the biggest use case of blockchain. So whether it's meme coin now or major coins or any coins or Bitcoin, I think, yeah, I really don't think there's a huge difference for myself.
Yeah, I used to be of the mindset that meme coins are like, like how everyone says it's a Trojan horse for Web3 adoption. And I generally agree. It definitely capitalizes on the attention economy. It helps form these really tight-knit Web3 communities, and it gives them an outlet to, it's not just about speculation. It gives them like a sense of belonging in Web3. And that's like your entry point for most people. But I think now I'm looking at things like Pump.Fun, which is a great business, but it's taking some of the meaning out of the meme coins. Because I started tracking it recently and some of the meme coins that launch on it, just because I was curious what's going on. And what you'll notice is like it's all pump and dumps, right? It's 99.9% pump and dumps. There's no community behind it. Like at least like things like Pepe and Doge and Shiba, they have these long-standing communities that have been with them for a very long time. Platforms like Pump.Fun, yes, it's creating some attention for Web3, but ultimately, I actually think it's a bad type of attention. And then we're seeing this now with like Sun Pump on Tron. And so we're definitely getting a little too like shilly with this kind of stuff. But I think if meme coin's done right, it does give like an outlet for the normies or like the kind of foundation for like mass adoption, right? Just to capture their attention, get them in the space, and then they start learning about different chains, wallets, and different kind of layers of the Web3 ecosystem. So I think it's still net positive, but I do think we're trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I view meme coins as very interesting speculative products which found really good product market fit in my opinion, because they're very popular. People like to trade them, and the tooling around that got really advanced in a way and really narrowed. So as Mark mentioned, Pump.Fun, I don't view it as good or bad. I think it's like just a tool and people use it in a different ways. I think it started really with like major meme coin season mainly with Telegram trading bots, and then it got more sophisticated that people can also easily launch meme coins, and then other people can trade there. I think it's a bit overheated environment right now because there is so much supply and not that much of a demand. But I think long term they'll stay for sure, and I think people will create other use cases and other tooling, and that Pump.Fun will stay, but people will work on its deficiencies and see how it can be more beneficial for the other side of of the marketplace, not just for the people that launch these coins, but also for the people that want to participate and buy these coins.
Yeah, just quickly adding to that, I think about Pump.Fun a lot, and I think the biggest problem is that if Pump.Fun is this entry point for a lot of new users, they come in, they see these stories of people making 1,000x, 10,000x, whatever it is, and they start buying. They get rugged once, they get rugged twice. They're like, okay, it happens, it happens. They get rugged like a fifth, sixth time. They're done with crypto for now, right? They're like, I'm done with this. This is a scam. And then to get these people back into Web3, it's going to take a lot of work. And so I feel like if we keep going this way, then we have this new wave of users who get turned off by crypto for some time, and it's going to take a lot of work to win them back over.
Yeah, I totally get it. It's kind of a bit harsh way to start learning about crypto, right? So what do you think would be the sort of ideal situation about meme coin trading? As sort of, Mark mentioned, it's a good way to sort of enter the Web3 environment and sort of learn what is it like. But at the same time, if it get lagged too much, then that will definitely turn off. But what do you think would be the ideal environment for that? For maybe Mark, can you start?
Oh, ideal environment?
Yeah.
I don't know. So we list memes per pairs with memes, but even though we support it on our platform, I would say for most average users, they should trade with limited leverage if they can. Just because you could trade with 10x leverage or even 5x leverage for meme coins is quite high because of the volatility. I'd say most meme coin traders are probably better off just buying and holding, even if it goes to zero. But yeah. And then memes, again, for us, the way we leverage memes is we're the first to list a lot of the meme coins that you see on base, and so the perps markets at least. And so it brings a lot of attention to some of our bigger pairs. So we see it as a user acquisition strategy. They come for the memes and they stay for the rest of the platform.
Got it, thanks. I think we are getting close to the end, so maybe we can go one up round of what is your take on DAO? What does it mean? What does decentralized mean for your project? Blagoj, can you start?
Yeah. So in our case, we're not let's say fully a DAO, but we have a pretty big community. I would say long term we would like to look into that future where we decentralize more and more kind of things. But it's I think DAOs are really good tool for coordination and communication as well. So long term, I think it really brings value, but also it's not for everything, I would say. Not everything should be a DAO.
Mark?
Yeah, I think the North Star for most projects building in this space, especially for DeFi, certainly for infrastructure, is to become a DAO, right? It's that path to decentralization, distribute governance, ownership to the different stakeholders, whether it's your users, community members, even early supporters. The challenge with DAOs is there are a lot of challenges, but the biggest one is probably participation. So you still have very small percentage of communities participating. I mean, some of them will delegate. So I think we need to fix that if we're going to get to this idealistic future where everything is governed by the community. But DAOs are important because it's what sets us apart from our centralized counterparts, right? If we set up a DAO properly and if we execute it properly, this protocol, SynFutures, for example, will live on beyond our team. Meaning, if our team disappeared one day for whatever reason, it should still be able to operate within the DAO community.
Becomes unstoppable, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think I'll just keep it very short. I think a lot of people are using DAO because they don't want to go to jail. Like, that's probably the biggest use case right now. But yeah, if it's done right, only if it's done right, then I think there will be very long-term value. And it's not easy to do it right. So I think it's probably not enough time to talk about all my thoughts on like how to do it right. But yeah, I guess the key thing is don't go to jail.
Thanks. I think that's it for this session. Do you guys have anything to add? Okay. Cool. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you all three.